tell them until I actually got on the road to leave. Then I called my mom, and it was just like, I'm like, that would kill my family. To go to know that. I was like, it would just kill my family. Like, that hurt me too. And I was just like, I can't stay in this. And I was even going to go into work that morning, and I called him. I said, I'm going to be running a little late. And I woke up that day. I was like, yo, I hate my life. Like, I'm making six figures at the age of 23, you know, and I hated my life. And I was like, I sat there for a few hours. He slept real late, so he slept till like 1, 2, 3 o'clock. So I sat there, I looked at my dog. I'm like, yo, should I bring you? Should I not bring you? Like, what do I do? And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just get on the road. And I just left. I brought my dog, and I just got on the road. I called my mom, and he didn't even realize I was gone until I was in 4 hours away in St. Louis. He thought I was just in the neighborhood. We'll come back home, da-da-da. And because I left right before our 4-year anniversary. It was like a couple days before it. So, and my family, they met me in Tennessee, and we stayed the night in Tennessee. I had drove like 9 hours to Tennessee. They drove from North Carolina to Tennessee, and they met me out there, and we drove the other 6 hours back to North Carolina. And I still, at that point, even when I left, I was like, maybe I'll come back. Maybe I'm just staying here for a little bit or something. And just hearing my family like beg me to stay, and like, I don't want you to go back and come back in a casket and different things. Like, I was just like, I gotta just move on. And he had gave all my stuff to the Goodwill, and that's the last time I talked to him. It was like maybe a week after I moved here. And it's been very freeing just to like do the basic things like that you would like. I had like the lamest 21st birthday. We went to out. Like, I didn't even go to a bar like less than like 5 times in my life at the age of 23 because I was in this relationship. It's like I wasn't allowed to do anything. I wasn't allowed to go out without him. If I did go out, like, I went trips to Hawaii. I remember this lady, she was like, I just want to celebrate you and stuff like that. And that we had worked with because we used to work together. And then that was it's like little conversations I had along the way were things that helped me leave, like little like random stuff. Like, and she's like, and he calls me, and I'm like, well, it was like an hour, she's taking me out to eat, but I'm like, well, I gotta go now. She's like, well, I don't like that. I seen the way he looks at you sometimes, and I'm like, if he's looking at you like this in public, then what is he doing in private? She's like, I don't know if it's gotten physical, but he's not going to change. She let me know that her house was open to me if I needed it, and that gave me comfort, even though I did just go straight home and I didn't stay in Kansas City. But it just gave me comfort that I did have something, some type of something where I lived, and to where I wasn't like all the way alone. So really, you don't know who might be going through that. Like, you really reach your hand out, you know, put it out there, because you could really save someone's life. Like the little conversations I had, I think I confided in one person that I had worked with outside of her. I never told her I was actually getting abused, but there was another lady that I did actually tell, and she was like telling me and just like telling me to leave and do that. So when it actually came time, like, that helped me. And then I had talked to his niece, and his niece had said, like, does he put his hands on you? Because I remember when we were like, when he was like 16, that his other girlfriend, they were getting in a fight. And I'm like, so this shit is deeper than what I think. This is not something that just happened overnight. So all those conversations collectively, even though I probably should have left earlier, it all helped when I finally did leave. All that I was putting together with the logic, plus all the statistics I'm looking up, and I'm like, yo, he's gonna kill me. Like, he's really gonna kill me. So even if it's not physical though, like, if someone's mentally abusing you, emotionally abusing you, or calling you names, calling you bitches, calling you out your name all the time. I got tired of being called a bitch all the time. Like, it was just, I got tired of arguing over dumb shit every fucking day like, it was just such a negative life. It was just terrible. So I learned from it. I learned from the situation. What did you learn? I learned I learned a lot. I just learned a lot about life and living. I learned that you gotta, the biggest thing is that you gotta demand your respect, you know, from people. You can't let people disrespect you like in those ways, because if you let them disrespect you and you continue to associate yourself with them, they're going to continue to disrespect you. So it's not going to change. Like, once you accept it, like, once I got choked up the first time and got called a bitch the first time, and I stayed with it, it only, even though it was a thing, I won't let it happen, like, it continued to happen over and over again. So it's like, you just gotta respect yourself enough and know your worth and your value, because one thing abuser has a way of doing is trying to demean you, to put you down here and make you feel like you down here, and
you'll
they're
never
up
get
here.
nobody better than me.
Right.
You ain't got shit going on, and you ain't got nothing, and you are nothing. And that's the talking. When you hear that so much, no matter how strong you are, how strong-willed you might be, it chips away at that, and you start to believe those things. You start to feel like, oh, I don't have anybody in my corner, when you do have loving, supporting friends and people. So I'm glad that you have, I call it divine intervention, having people to see it, whether you see it or not, and just being there for you. And I think that's another thing, like, just not being judgmental to other women. Like, I have been in a situation it's a lot similar. I have a lot of similarities, and I think a big thing that you said was, like, I was making the most money that I had ever made, but I was miserable. I think a lot of the reason why I stayed with the person that I was with was because of the access that I had. I didn't really want for much. I was living a different kind of life than I had lived. If we had money, you know what I'm saying? Or he had money, and he used to use that, you know? And at one point, I just realized, like, I'm sticking around for all the wrong reasons. At one point, it was because I had this idea of what it was, but now I know that that's not it, but I do still like these things. You know what I'm saying? I still like being able to have this, but I used to always say my spirit is unsettled. I'm waking up every morning and I'm not feeling it. He waking up in a good mood and I'm waking up miserable. I'm sleeping in because I'm depressed. You know what I mean? I'm not operating. I'm not going out with my friends, or I'm so busy worried about where you're going. I can't even focus on me. I'm not excelling, and you're using that against me. So it all starts to take an effect. And I think that there was just one day, like, it was a situation where, like, it used to get physical, but the day that I left, it was more so just like he was trying to intimidate me. And I realized, like, oh, this is a thing. Like, you think I'm scared now. You think that you can intimidate me into submission. And it didn't even take me getting hit to do that. So, for one, I'm just so sorry to hear that it got as bad for you as it did, like, with the whole gun thing, because I do not believe in guns, right? So I don't own any, but I've heard the statistics about how just having a gun in the house can just you know, it heightens the chances of violence and things like that. But I'm so glad that you had people to come into your life and just speak to you and see you, you know what I'm saying, and just reassure you, because I know that you knew that you had it, but just taking that reassurance, because I didn't tell many people either. My family, this will be the first time that I confirmed for a lot of people what they may think they do or don't know. Some people don't know at all because I don't talk about it. So I think it was good that you just decided one day to leave, and you can finally speak on it, because you mentioned feeling free once you actually left. But how do you feel now that you're just saying, like, this is my truth, this is how I feel? Ladies, if I could give you any tips, this is what it is. How does it feel being finally able to just say what you feel?
I feel like for me it's an obligation more than, like, I used to speak on it even more, you know, and I'm to a point now where I'm like, okay, I'm getting a lot of new followers and new stuff, and and people don't know again, so you need to continuously speak on it. Like, speaking on it just once doesn't really help all the people you need to help, and speaking on it once a year doesn't even usually do that. So it's like, okay,
it's dead. Okay, go ahead.
So it's like, I feel like it's an obligation, because I spoke on it in the past, and I've had people come to me and that we're going through that. I've gotten people out of abusive relationships since I've been out of mine. Like, so it's it's very powerful to be able to tell your story, especially when people may look up to you, whether they know it, they look at you and they think, okay, this person got it going on, or they got everything. So it's like, for me, it was like, if I can speak on it and save a life, then that's what I have to do, because that's what my platform is about. And I didn't want it to be like, okay, I'm just a victim, or I don't even like to call it a survivor. I like to say a conqueror of domestic violence, you know, because I feel like survivor sounds very victim-like.
Yeah. You're still being victimized in a way. I like it, a conqueror.
So I feel like I just gotta speak on it, because it just feels like it's not something where I'm like, oh, it's so freeing to speak on it. It's just free to be free, you know, but I just feel like I'm more obligated to speak on it. And if I can help somebody through my words, you know, even I make a post, if someone says it, that may mean they might be going through that. That might have helped them. Like, you see the saves, they might not say nothing, you know, but it really be the people you least suspect. It be the people that are in power couple situations. Like, people think y'all got it all together and stuff like that. So I feel like even if I'm not helping someone directly, if I can get somebody else to pay attention more to their loved one, their family, to see the signs, man. Because I had my sister's best friend, she died like the day before Nipsey Hussle died. And I remember we went out to Atlanta when I was out here, and I was like, I think she's in an abusive relationship, because it was just the way, like, she would talk about, oh, every time I look at someone, he think I'm trying to be with them or something like that. And she'll be like, and the way everything was about her dude. Like, I remember for a long time, like, I would go out. I went out with my high school friends one day, like in St. Louis. I had traveled back to St. Louis, and I didn't have my own identity. It was all just me and my ex. My relationship was my identity. And It was like, and I seen some of the same signs, and I'm like, I think she's in an abusive relationship. And then one of my other sister's friends that went out there, she was like, no, she's a Taurus. She's not in no abuse. She's strong. She's probably the one controlling stuff. And after she died, I don't know if it was, they say it was a suicide, but I don't know. It's up in the air for me. But come to find out, one of her sisters well, he pushed her down the steps, and she was getting abused. So I'm like, I feel like, damn, like, but nobody can get somebody out of an abusive relationship but the person. But still, you can speak on it, and you can influence their own decision by noticing the signs and speaking to them. They're not going to just leave just because you tell them to leave. They're going to have to decide that on their own, but you don't know how your words, your story can impact them to actually make that steps. And I just, she was a beautiful girl, and I just feel bad just to know that, like, she was actually getting abused, and I seen the signs, and I felt that, and I didn't go with what I felt, you know. So it's just, I don't know. It's a lot of people that you don't expect out here that are going through that, suffering in silence, and a lot of people that went through that and that won't speak on it, because it can be. I got to a point where about the embarrassment thing, you know, it was very embarrassing. Going, you know, especially like when you're flaunting your relationship online, or you like, you know, we went to Hawaii together, we went and did different stuff, and it can be embarrassing to, like, okay, well, I instead of trying to get married to this person, I decided to leave and be me. But then I feel like the impact you might have on somebody's decision to leave is more important than how you may feel as far as like embarrassment or what people think, because I just place that at a higher regard, you know, than what. And if you want to look at me in a certain type of way, or try to clown me for it, that's on you. That shows your own character, like, at the end of the day. So I'm not even worried about that. I'm just more wanting to help that person that was like me, and I felt so alone.
I like that. I always say that I want to be remembered as a person with integrity, like when my time is up, because I don't know what you believe, but, you know, I believe that we are all here for a purpose, and we are ultimately tools. We're tools and instruments to be used to impact other people's lives. You know, I feel like our most significant contributions to the world are how we can help and build up other people. I truly believe that. So I think that it takes a lot of strength and courage to speak on it, but your purpose won't go unnoticed. There are people who do feel alone, who don't feel like there's anybody that they can talk to, who feel like they might feel like they're the only person going through it because there are other people around them who don't have those types of issues. Right. So, and I've lost a friend, right? I lost my friend. Her name was Briandra in 2019. And me and her actually weren't talking before she passed away, but I still highly regard her. And I think that that was one of the most monumental experiences that I've had in my life thus far. And what it taught me was my ego is not more important than being a friend. My pride is not more important than being a friend or being a solid person or a family member. None of those things outweigh relationships and meaningful relationships. So I get what you mean when you say I value having a voice and being there to encourage someone more than any, discouragement I might feel or any embarrassment that I might feel. And ultimately, it's nothing to be embarrassed about. Like you said, you're a conqueror. I'll say it, I'm a conqueror. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you get through it. And I was talking to somebody about it, and I was just like, it made me strong because I did learn a lot. I came out of that relationship so different. And I definitely feel like it made me strong. And they was like, well, no, did it make you stronger? Did it make you put up a wall? I don't feel guarded at all. Right. I just feel like you said, you have to demand your respect. Right. I know what I'm going for. I know what I'm not going for. When I see the red flags, I'm not just going to go into it. Right. And I feel like that's valuable. It helps you to understand your worth, and then not only understand it, but just like put it into implementation. Right.
Like, so you don't go back into that situation. Yes. Like, I got it out the way when I was at that age, and I had never really went through stuff, but not like that. So it really, I mean, from 19 to almost 24, I was in that, and I came out as a person who won't go back into something like that again. So it's like, and if I could have possibly fell into something like that later in life, but now that I know, and that's why I feel like it's important to educate people on the signs, because you shouldn't have to go through that to avoid it.
That's a word. It's because it has such a long lasting effect on you mentally, emotionally. I think that the mental component was even worse than the physical component, because when you like wake up and look at yourself and you got bruises, it's just different, So I agree. I feel like, using our platforms, because I always teeter-totter on what exactly I should talk about on Thirsty Thursday, because a part of me is like, okay, I want to be candid, but there were episodes where I feel like I wasn't being candid enough. So I appreciate you taking the time to come with me and talk with me about something that doesn't just affect us. It affects so many people who don't get to talk about it. I appreciate you giving back to a good cause, especially one that supports the city. I was born and raised here. So, I think that that's special, and I'm just glad to know that there are initiatives out there. People, you got to know that there are resources for you.
Yes,
so
most definitely.
Yes. So if I can, I'll probably like put a link or something to Heal Charlotte or whatever, because we just want to make sure that you know that you have help, you have people that care about you, and there are so many like kind people in the world. So don't be discouraged by the few bad apples, because there are lots of kind people and people here to talk to you, like me and ReeCee and the people of Heal Charlotte. But yeah, so congratulations on all of your upcoming projects. We can't wait to see the Pro Vibe video.
Thank you.
And to support you at your DOAP concert.
Yeah, make sure y'all pull up. We at Crown Station with it. It's for a good cause. It's going to be so many dope talents. I can't wait to see the people. I'm glad I'm not hosting, so I can actually enjoy the show and actually like enjoy my event. Well, I enjoy it when I'm hosting too, but you work. I'm still be working,
like, sit back and see it.
I won't be on the stage until it's my time to perform. So no, it's gonna be lit though. I appreciate you having me. It's definitely been vibes. I love it. Love your brand. For when I see you at the Trapping Shop. So,
yes, shout out to the Trapping Shop. That's where we originally met, and I didn't even know that you and Maestro worked together at that point. At that point,
funny. I said I did the open mics. Me and Chandra did the open mics together. So that was my business partner in the Unplugged open mic. So one day we might bring it back, maybe, but nah. But yeah, definitely, it's a small world, especially in Charlotte.
Yes, like okay. So I'm from here, so it's like even smaller. But if you do decide to come here, because it is growing, lots of opportunities. I got to put on for the city shit.
Yeah,
but it is small
community.
But the networking
growing.
Is dope. I've met people, especially at these pop-up events and stuff like this. I meet people that is like exponentially beneficial.
Right.
I'm working and we networking, and that's super important because you never know who has what resources. So just put yourself out there, whatever it is that you do. If you're an artist, if you have a brand, whatever it is, believe in yourself. Put yourself out there and network.
What I did, man. I was everywhere because I didn't even have Instagram when I moved here. So like I literally started from scratch. Like I ain't know nobody.
And you just hit 10K.
Yeah, I just hit 10K in 3 years. So yeah, it's been, now they don't do the swipe up shit no more, but I do get the links. I get the links. You click this link in here. It's not, I feel like swipe up was easier. Niggas ain't clicking the link yet.
Yeah.
But nah, click that link in my bio. I'm gonna put it in there. But yeah, everything happened. Charlotte showed a lot of love. You know, I won awards when I first moved here. That was very I decided to move here. I'm like, I'm gonna be an artist. My first year here, I won Queen City Award, Female Hip Hop Artist of the Year.
Nice.
Then the second year I won again. So it was just like stuff was validating, like you made the right decision. All right, you left, you made the right decision. You are an artist. Like a city's validating you as an artist. You could decide you want to do something, go for it, and just do it. I started performing again since I was a kid when I first moved here and recorded for the first time, and it's just been a lot of people I've met. I've been just going hard, very, very freaking hard for my music. I have not stopped. People have told me, yo, you're the most consistent artist I've seen, and I'm like, whether I believe it or not, I've heard it from so many different people, and I'm like, yeah, I haven't stopped, and I'm not gonna stop. So I know I'll be somewhere one day.
Absolutely. Kudos for you for taking that leap of faith. Kudos for you for staying consistent, because that's hard with everything that's always going on. It's always something. So I wish you all the best.
You too.
You have my complete support. And again, thank you for joining me. I'll make sure all the links that anybody needs to get whatever you need. Send me everything you want people to go click on, whatever. I'll tag it, make sure they have access to it. The event is on the 14th. Is that a Saturday?
It's a Thursday.
It's a Thursday.
Right? So it'll be like a week from this is dropping this
air.
Okay, so in a week,
yes,
we at Crown Station with it. I need to see y'all there. It's gonna be the dopest event of the century. I'm for real.
Period.
No, it's gonna be dope. But technically, I can say that because it's spelled like DOAP. So anything I say is the dopest. I'm like, it's my brand. Like,
no,
of course it's the dopest. Like, so yeah. Pull up. See y'all there.
All right, and make sure this is a new piece from my new collection, which will be dropping soon, so stay tuned. We still have the flash sale going on. That piece is a part, it's the 2-piece, little something. It's a part of the flash sale, so make sure you tap in with that. I actually have uploaded the website, so you don't even have to hit me in my DMs. It has the size up there, the price up there, so make sure you check out our website. And I look forward to seeing you guys for the next Thirsty Thursday.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.
I want to put this in there, but just say YouTube.
Oh, yes, and make sure you follow our channel on YouTube.
Subscribe.
What is it? The Luxurei channel. Make sure you follow the Luxurei channel on YouTube. Subscribe. Share it with a friend, okay? So we can get it popping on YouTube, get them views up so your girl can get a bag. I know y'all want to support me. So go ahead and subscribe. Thank you.
While you at it, subscribe to ReeCee Raps.
Tell them again.
YouTube. That's why I'll be dropping the Pro Vibe video. It's going to be lit. Give me to 1,000 subscribers so I can get monetized. I done hit 10K on Instagram.
Yes.
Now the focus is over to YouTube. I need to hit 1K subscribers. I'm like halfway there. So like, let's get it done. Appreciate y'all. Follow me, ReeCee Raps on everything. Google me, ReeCee Raps.
She said you can Google her. That's what I'm really talking
Just
about.
Spell it right. ReeCee Raps. Google me, and you'll find everything. All the articles, everything.
Perfect. Thank you again, hun.
Thank
it was
you.
such a fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Even though it was a little heavy, I feel good afterwards. Thirsty Thursday is very therapeutic for me, so I'm hoping you leaving with good energy too.
Yeah, of course, always.
Good.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Anytime. Y'all have a good night.
See you later.